Let's say this, if the Dallas Cowboys win on Sunday, is it a good indication, look at his face, is it a good indication that Roger Staubach was correct about Tony Romo being a top 5 quarterback?
No.
No, not at all, huh?
It is not.
Okay.
I mean, listen. I mean,
okay.
How many times are we going to do this?
Okay.
Tony Romo puts up great numbers. Tony Romo is an impressive regular season quarterback. Tony Romo is entering his 8th year as the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. He has 1 playoff victory. And over the course of that time, he has proven to be an accident waiting to happen. He is what he is. Now, I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying not to be cruel. I'm trying to understand, look, hey, the man can play. But you know something? When you sit there and you try to elevate him to astronomical proportions, and I believe to call him a top 5 quarterback is astronomical, I think it's ridiculous, okay? Let's take this into consideration. Before we even get to think about anybody else, we got to think about Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers, and we all know I don't necessarily mean it in that order. So if Tony Romo is top 5, that means you throw those 4 out of the equation, and of the remaining 28 teams, we got to pick Tony Romo and 27 other dudes and decide if he's the best amongst the lot. And I'm not ready to do that. You got to show something come postseason time, which he has not done. Now, we understand that marketing has a lot to do with it because, after all, Jerry Jones, you give him his money, then you say he'll be in the film room more. Then you'll say he'll be a more integral part of the offense. Then you'll say he'll play more of a decision-making role. Then you say we'll be able to trust him more. Then you'll say he'll mirror the habits and tendencies of the great Peyton Manning. You do this after you give him his money, whereas everybody else, you usually find out that beforehand enough already. Tony Romo can play. He is no scrub. I understand it, but stop trying to make him out to be more than he is. Tony Romo is a quality, skilled quarterback in this league. But when you're talking about the quarterback position, the one thing that matters above all else is whether or not you're a winner. And that is the one thing we can definitively say we will never accuse Tony Romo of being just yet.
Okay, back to Roger Staubach. You will find no bigger fan of Roger Staubach than this guy sitting right here. I know him well. I covered him for years. This is one of the greatest postseason clutch quarterbacks who ever played the game of football. He is now a real estate baron in Dallas, Texas, and he is an ambassador and super fan of the Dallas Cowboys, like a true fan of the Cowboys. He has said repeatedly that Tony Romo is underrated and that he's a top 5 kind of quarterback. Stephen A., 2 years ago, Tony Romo put up top 5 numbers in the regular season, but I agree with your postseason argument. We have to see something from him in the postseason besides beating what was left of Donovan McNabb and the Eagles of Andy Reid in that one playoff game at Jerry World. And yet he's got top 5 potential. That's why Jerry paid him. He can be a top 5 playmaker. He can also be a bottom 5 mistake maker. So that leads to this game Sunday at San Diego, which, to use I'll paraphrase your term, this game is an accident waiting to happen for the Dallas Cowboys and Tony Romo. Once again, Miles Austin, hamstring. How many times have we heard that over the last, 5 years, it seems like? It seems like every other game he's got a hamstring problem. We know that Anthony Spencer, who's a stud pass rusher, we just heard earlier this week, gone for the rest of the year. That's a big psychological blow to this team. And I remind you, Phillip Rivers' team should be 3-0. I know you can say, well, it's his fault that they're not. They had the Texans down 21 points on opening night, should have closed that deal. I could go on and on. They did close the deal in Philadelphia. They should be 3-0. I was ready to pick the Chargers, again, against my Dallas Cowboys, until I read just this morning that the whole left side of the line probably won't play. Dunlap and Reinhardt, the left guard and left tackle, reverse order, probably won't play. Well, all of a sudden, I'm thinking that Phillip Rivers should be wearing a number 94 Cowboys jersey the whole game. Talking about DeMarcus Ware. Who's going to block him and keep him off Phillip Rivers? So I think it's going to be a shootout, but I think Tony Romo will put up enough numbers, to Des Bryant especially, that they will win a shootout. I got a 32-30 visiting team barely surviving this game.
Well, we agree with that because of what you pointed out, because if you can't protect Phillip Rivers, you're not going to win this game if you're the San Diego Chargers, and I don't think they're going to be able to protect him in this game. So I've got the Dallas Cowboys winning this game 28-24. But what I'm saying to you is that it won't be necessarily because of Tony Romo, because that was how we started off, and that's how we jump-started this debate. Roger Staubach talking about Tony Romo as a top-5 quarterback in this game. I don't see how anybody could come to that conclusion based on what they've seen.